Hi, everybody. As we get started with the new comp season, I'm going to address the most asked question I receive from dancers and parents. How do I stand out at convention? This is something that plagues a lot of dancers everywhere. And of course, it's not just the dancers that worry about it, so do the parents. It is hard to put in all this time and effort behind what you do and then think that no one is paying attention. It is hard to sacrifice, as high as we all do, time with family, friends, giving up other activities, parties, events, because we love something so deeply, only to think that no one is actually seeing us. That is hard. It is hard to feel motivated. It is hard to think, why do I keep doing this? Well, I want to make sure that I am here to help you. Dancers, it is so valuable for you to understand that being noticed isn't always about being front and center. It is not always about trying to get the teacher's attention. It is a matter of how you choose to show up. There is something to be said about being the dancer that is focused, that has intention, that is listening to everything that the teacher is saying. And then, this is the secret sauce, guys. How do I put myself into the work? It is very easy for anyone to follow directions and do what the teacher is asking. That is the majority of where most people are, which is why most dancers tend to blend in. But if you really want to learn how to stand out, you actually have to be okay being you within the choreography itself. I know you keep hearing, well, you just got to be you. But I think most dancers are a little lost understanding what that means. Here's a couple of ways that you can look at it. One, you are in show business, which means you are in the business of showing yourself. I know a lot of dancers who hesitate showing themselves in a more escalated value, more technical manner, in a more emotional manner, because they're a little afraid of crossing the line and thinking it might be too much. Well, this is the thing, guys. By not doing anything, you kind of get stuck within the masses, which again means that you're blending. Being you means it's not the you that you are as a person, it's the you, the artist, you that has an idea, you of how the music makes you feel. And the more you understand how to insert these little ingredients into the mixture that is the choreography being given by the teacher, then suddenly we start to see and feel your interpretation, your point of view. That is you allowing us to see you. That is you showing us who you are. Taking those leaps of faith requires a lot of courage. But I also think there's a lot to be said about playing into your gut and playing into the thoughts and ideas that you have in your head. This isn't about distorting somebody's choreography. This is a matter of, do I hit this harder? Do I hit this softer? Do I want to take my focus to the right or to the left? Like it's all those little extra things that start to shape someone's choreography, and that's where the artist takes it to the new level. When a teacher sees that, when a choreographer sees that, there is no way for you to blend, because no one in that room is thinking like you. Nobody in the room is you. Then suddenly, what you bring to the dance floor matters. What you bring to the dance floor says something. And more importantly, we as the choreographers, the audience, we want to listen. We want to watch. Parents, you have an opportunity here to help your kid when it comes to standing out at a convention. Now, before I get into this explanation, I want to preface that dancers, they want to make you proud. They don't want to disappoint you. And so I say this because sometimes parents don't catch themselves in the way that they say things sometimes to their dancers. So what do I mean by that? I sometimes see parents that will point out how great that girl is because she's got great legs, or wow, did you see those tricks that other girl did? And man, she is amazing. Now, I am not saying that it is a bad thing to point out great qualities amongst other dancers. Where parents sometimes fall short is following up behind those comments. This is where my mom excelled. My mom truly believed that the most important part of my personal mental training was making sure I didn't get stuck into these mental traps. And my mental traps are pretty much the same as what kids are going through today. And the big one is comparison. Kids constantly compare themselves to other dancers. So when they hear you, the person that they want to make proud of, the person that they don't want to disappoint, and they hear you go, wow, look at those legs, it won't take long before the kid is thinking, but I don't have legs like that. How am I supposed to do that? Or, wow, look at her do those turns. Well, I'm not the turner. So am I disappointing my mom because I'm not those things? My mom always wanted to make sure that I didn't get stuck into those mental traps. So a lifeline that she constantly kept giving me was the point of inspiration. The first thing my mom would ask me is, who in the room inspired you? Because she wanted me to be able to look at other people from a different set of lenses. She didn't want me to already start looking at people and instantly start comparing. She wanted me to look at other people and find the inspiration. So every time she asked me, so who inspires you? Well, I would say, well, so-and-so. She goes, well, why? And I would say my reason. Oh my God, Mom, there's a performance quality about it I love. Fantastic. How does that inspire you? Well, it makes me feel like I want to try some things. And that was the winning moment. For my mom to get me to be inspired to try something, to motivate me to think for myself. How can I take that inspiration and how can I sprinkle some of that onto me and see what comes from me? My mom didn't want me to be like anybody else. My mom wanted me to be me. She understood that there was only one me. So the concept of comparing myself to other dancers, well, I was already basically taking away my individuality. It was taking away my uniqueness. It was taking away my talents. It was taking away who I was. And to connect this dot to what I just said to the dancers, if a dancer can't connect to who they are and what they believe in, then it's really hard to want to show it. So if there's anything I can share with my parents, make sure that part of what you are aiming in these conversations when you point out other dancers is that you make sure they let your kid know, like, did you see those legs? Now, I love those legs, but you know what I love about you? And follow it up with something that connects back to them. Because if everything is always about the bright-eyed, oh, woo, we get very wowed by other dancers. Again, nothing wrong with it, but we're working with kids that are still impressionable, that are still struggling, understanding their value, understanding who they are, and we can't afford for them to get trapped. So parents, throw a lifeline to your kid and remove the comparison and replace it with inspiration. If this information was helpful to you, please do not hesitate to like, share, and subscribe.